Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. It is birthday week, folks, so we're covering 5 films, starting with 1955's The Night of the Hunter, that's directed by Charles Lawton, then The Comancheros by Michael Curtiz, Army of Shadows from 1969 by Jean-Pierre Melville, we then have The Last of the Mohicans by Michael Mann, and finally, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World by Peter Weir. So it's going to be a great episode. Let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he's got to say about these films. Stay tuned, folks, and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
How is it going?
Far side of the world, far side of the table. And boy, you got full circle this week. Vin was down for the count, folks.
Oh, yeah. I was sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog. I, really, the sickest I've been in a long time dealing with these movies. But honestly, it was a joy to, bunker down and watch these movies because these are some wonderful picks.
A joy?
Yeah,
Okay, all
right.
right.
Some wonderful picks.
We'll take that. I was going to just say, if I don't feel like, if just cross the board tonight, things are a little rough, I'm just going to be like, okay, he was sick that year, so I can just bump all the scores up by 5.
Yeah, exactly. And also forgive me if some of my commentary is a little thin on some of these.
Cough away.
Yeah.
I got my vitamins ready to go.
There you go. But it is the 4th annual Tom's Birthday Picks.
Can you believe it? We've been doing it this long.
Wild.
That's one high school.
That is one high school.
Doesn't seem right.
This is the senior
It
year.
seems like we've been doing this for about 2 years and 1 month.
Yeah. But yeah, really excited to go over these movies. You picked some wild choices.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yeah.
What watching order did you do?
I was actually all over the map. I did Master and Commander first. Then I went to Night of the Hunter. Then I went to Last of the Mohicans. Then I went to Comancheros, and I ended with Army of Shadows. I also lost...
All over the place, wow.
Yeah, I lost my notes on Army of Shadows and Comancheros, so I had to start over.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Comancheros, the notes are probably a little bit looser.
Right.
Than the Army of
Shadows was just
probably wrote a novel along with it.
Exactly. There's enough downtime.
It must have been in that, your Robitussin haze.
Yeah, exactly. Just completely lost it. Or maybe I just hallucinated actually writing the notes, period. And then they weren't even there.
And then 2 things. So one, got that 4K over to you.
Yes.
So that was good. And then, unfortunately, folks, if you're watching along or going to feel like you want to watch The Night of the Hunter, you can watch it. I managed to watch it on Tubi, and it's fine. I mean, with that movie, it's not that many commercials on Tubi. Mm-hmm. The thing is just that I think the first time I watched it was on HBO Max, and then I bought it on Amazon.
This was not in licensing hell for a while.
It wasn't,
yeah.
and it's a relatively renowned movie now.
Yeah.
So I just think it's going through a licensing period, which is annoying. Again, I think I bought it on Amazon. It's not there anymore because just remember, when you buy it on Amazon, you don't own it.
Yeah.
Amazon still technically owns it, which is a shame. But anyway, so that might be the only tough thing if you're not a Tubi person. And other than that, everything is pretty accessible. So
yeah. I was appreciative of you sending me the Army of Shadows physical copy because they had a better audio track that they revised the music and some of that. So it was
I like that main score too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The main score is sick.
Yeah.
So okay, any opening notes? I'm glad it wasn't a harsh week. I do feel like I picked movies that you could enjoy as well.
Yeah, I would just say they were just long movies.
I think everything was no.
Yeah, they were pretty long.
I think everything's under 2 except for Master and Commander, right?
No.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, Army of Shadows. Oh, well, no, you're fine. You're fine. Army Shadows 225, Master Commander 218. Everything else is under.
I was bleeding out on the couch.
Okay. Anything else? Any starters?
Well, I did go over the previous Tom birthday picks just because last week we were like saying what was in that week again, and I can just run down them real quick if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we'll go from last year moving backwards. Last year was The Long Voyage Home, John Wayne,
John Ford.
Yeah, a unusual John Wayne movie, not a Western at all. We gave that a 70. Paths of Glory, 80 on the dot. Patton with an 82. Start Up, which was a wild choice, but like one that really paid off. We gave that a 72.
Yeah. Picked for good reasons. Definitely.
Absolutely. And also like kind of a precursor to Jack O'Connell.
Yeah, his rise in the past 2 years.
Exactly. And then finally A Star is Born with a 79. Very interesting. A very strong year.
That's a big year. That is a strong year.
Yeah, if there's going to be a head-to-head, that's going to be the year to beat for sure.
Well, we're going to see how this one goes.
We're going to see. Year before that, They Shall Not Grow Old, the Peter Jackson World War I documentary.
Yeah, that was nice of me.
80 on the dot. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And also like something I've been wanting to check out for some time. We both have been. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blood Diamond.
That's definitely a Tom pick.
with a 68. I was a little harsh on Blood Diamond.
Yes, you were.
Yeah. The Fugitive. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Yeah. I'm probably more mucusy to get that impression across. That's at a 79.
I forgot I picked The Fugitive. Yeah, hell
yeah. That was a really good movie. Yeah. That was really good. And that was just genuinely like a classic I've never seen,
Yep.
The Verdict with a 69.
Yeah, I love that movie. Did I get Two Shoes, Two Laces?
I think maybe. You were on a Newman high.
Oh my God, was I? Absolutely.
Still are.
Yeah, still. You never really leave that high.
And then Anatomy of a Murder, 77. Yeah, I don't know why you were trying to make me eat my vegetables when it came to courtroom dramas.
Well, yes, but it wasn't anti-you. It was more so I was hot. I was hot on dramas, on courtroom dramas back then.
Yep.
I mean, I watched The Verdict like 3.5 times in very quick succession.
That's wild.
I really like that movie. Anyway.
And last but not least is the very first year of the podcast. This was actually, you got gypped out of one of your choices because that was when we first covered the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Wow. So we included that in.
Yep. That was Battleship Potemkin.
That's right.
Really set the tone for how wild these choices are going to be. We gave that a whopping 55. I don't even know how I came to a 55 on a...
Wow,
it's like
very
Bolshevik
kind of
revolutionary propaganda.
It was revolutionary in film, though, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, that's
right. The Bridge on the River Kwai with a 69.
Yeah, we both had more hope for that film.
Yes, absolutely. Swingers with a 68.
That was my Something Vince Vaughn. That's right. Yeah.
Which I kind of wish that would come back.
Don't worry, it's always in the holster.
Yeah. And then definitely the hit of that year was Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot with a 77.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad I slipped that one in.
That's great.
Yeah,
so that's the track record for the Tom birthday picks.
You can really tell I was trying to figure things out that first year.
Right.
But even the year after that, see, I like those movies. It was just not exactly your year. Last year was for both of us. This year, I think, is going to be for both of us as well.
Yep.
So, excellent. I'm glad you're keeping track of that. I'll have to go back on the Two Shoes, but...
Well, it was just like, even last week, we were just like, what else was in that? And then I can't believe I forgot Long Voyage Home, because it's such an unusual John Wayne movie.
Yes. Well, and not to mention, John Wayne is really, like, the fifth character, the fourth most important character in that.
Very true.
I mean, it's more Ward Bond than anything, which is really good, because Ward Bond and I share the same birthday. Me, Kristen Stewart, and Ward Bond. I mean, get us three in a room together, please.
An incredible list.
Okay, thank you for going through those, Finn, actually, because I did not have those written down like that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess with that, we're going to start, and we're going to go in order when they came out, like we usually do.
Okay.
We are starting with The Night of the Hunter, and just, again, the reason for my pick, and this has been on the list since last year. I've now watched this about 3.5 times.
Wow.
It was on my list just because I wanted to see some of the first thriller noirs that jumped off the thriller noirs that we get today. And I found that this one was actually not really respected when it came out. And then slowly over time, it became more and more loved.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to watch this. I know I like Robert Mitchum, who is the lead star.
Yep.
I was first introduced to him and saw him over and over again when I watched El Dorado,
Oh,
John Wayne film.
Interesting. Okay.
So very interested to see this. That's why it's on the list. It is an hour and 32 minutes. It's directed by really an actor. It's Charles Lawton. He only directed 2 films.
Okay.
And I actually was doing research on another film for a potential idea I had.
Really?
And he was the main actor in that film.
Oh,
so
okay.
I liked him. But anyway, Charles Lawton directing, starring Robert Mitchum, Night of the Hunter. Vin, please set it up. I can't wait to go back and forth on this one with you.
Well, we are starting off very hot because I loved this movie. This is an excellent pick, Tom. Also, this is just an excellent pick as far as like the movies that I want to watch. I know this is your birthday pick, but like this was a movie for Vin.
Yeah,
you know
it was.
What I mean?
It was.
Like,
I got to throw one bone in there.
This was
you.
a movie for villain lovers all around the world. Watch Night of the Hunter. I think you just knocked it out of the park with this one. I've, of course, heard of this movie before, but I never saw it. This is the first time watching. And, folks, if you enjoy finding the rare old gem that feels as good as a modern film, this is one to watch. And I think that springboards off what you were saying of just like what is actually in the DNA of old thrillers, like what is being a stepping stone, what is a building block to what we get in kind of modern thrillers. And I think this has a lot of that. There's like so much in this movie that feels modern. I'll talk about it. I mean, so much feels like a 90s movie. I was thinking of Matilda. I was thinking of a series of unfortunate events. It's kind of a kid's story. It's kind of a horror movie. It's like it's wild. This is such an interesting movie.
And it is interesting because as sometimes as modern as it feels at times, at other times I'm sitting there thinking this might be one of the most unique films I ever watched.
Yeah,
like there's just like they're really pairing this with this, and you sit with it at times.
Yep.
I told you right before we kind of pressed play here. My first watch, I didn't know if I liked it and was utterly perplexed. This was the first time I actually almost reached out to other podcasters, like their DMs, and just be like, talk to me through, just see if I get any reaction on Night of the Hunter.
Right.
Because I was just like, I don't know if I get it. Then I watched it a second time, and I was like, oh, I just think I like this film.
Yep.
I watched it fully a third time, and I'm thinking this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely. It's just so interesting. Our director describes this movie as a nightmarish Mother Goose story. The opening of the intro kind of frames that perfectly. We begin with the biblical quote, "Beware false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves." And I think that really does perfectly describe Night of the Hunter. Night of the Hunter is a psychological thriller that belongs next to some of the better Hitchcock that we've covered on the podcast, frankly, if not clear above it. Based on the novel of the same name. Oh, that's also another thing. Every film this week was based off a novel.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting. It's also a secret Christmas movie out of nowhere. So it's really like when I say like this one was for me on your birthday list, like this was hitting all of the marks. I mean, I don't think there was even a mark I could make up that it didn't hit. Robert Mitchum plays Harry Powell, a criminal disguised as a preacher with love and hate tattooed on his fist, always carrying a switchblade and one wicked sense of morality. At the start of the film, we see a father attempting to hide $10K that he had from a bank heist, only telling his children and promptly getting arrested. The two of them meet in jail, and after the father hangs, the preacher goes after his widow to find the cash, even if he has to squeeze it out of the poor family. The wolf is able to blend in with the sheep's clothes perfectly, though, as the town takes quickly to Powell's scheme. But only 2 children, John and Pearl, stay suspicious of their new evil stepdad and the horrifying depths he will sink into. Folks, this is not your usual 50s movie. I think that is a huge compliment for me.
Absolutely.
Because I typically, running back on the podcast, if you're new to the podcast, I kind of hate on 50s as the decade for being kind of too,
Not unwarranted, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Too,
post-war
like, pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
Yes.
You can get through it all. Chin up, son.
Right, as you always say, I didn't love him, and now I love him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
type
romances.
storylines.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. It all boils down to that. I think this is not your usual 50s movies because both it's very cynical views of faith and how Mitchum and his character abuse that. I could see why on release in 55, this coming out, and there probably being a gut reaction, a clutched pearls aspect because of how despicable this character is and how abusive he is to, the faith of characters around him.
Yeah.
But also from a screenwriting sense, for how the story plays out, as far as evil stepdads go, this might as well be the best original version of something to come out in the 90s. And I really mean that as a compliment. As much as this worked for me like a really good horror, a really good thriller, Mitchum as an incredible villain performance, and Harry Powell.
Electric performance.
Yeah. I just like there was so much of this film that I was thinking of, like I said, series of unfortunate events, Matilda, like while I was watching this, and I feel like it worked on that level. It worked on like a kid's film level that has some edge, that has some grit to it. I just like, I know that's probably not ever going to be the intended audience that actually watches this, but I think like you can really, I don't know, you wouldn't want to show a kid this, but like this is on that level. It was satisfying, like some of those 90s style movies that we would get.
Yeah, and of course, since it's 55, it doesn't have a proper like MPA rating.
Yep.
I mean, I would say this would probably be PG-13, but it probably could pass as PG because there's no blood, there's no cursing.
Yep.
It's kid heavy, which is weird to think about, but that's how crazy it is as a thriller of how tame it is, and yet how absolutely daunting, like daring it is.
Yep.
Your point about the kids too. I mean, one of the notes I kind of have here is at times we're with the kids a lot.
Yes.
And luckily the kids are pretty good.
Yep.
But it's another one of the main opening lines too. When it finally goes to kind of a normal picture is the famous line that, you know the tree by the fruit it bears.
Yeah.
And I like just the absolute, there's no gray in this film. It is the good of the good children.
Yes.
The evil of the evil man wearing black.
Yep.
And I love seeing that fairy tale aspect almost when we're with the kids.
Yep.
And then the absolute dauntingness of when we're with him, which softens it that definitely a younger crew could turn it on.
I think that's a phenomenal point, Tom, because it's like it isn't gray. There isn't a room
Zero
for debate.
Gray,
Like
yes.
this is like he's a Disney Channel villain. You know what I mean? He is a cartoonish villain for how evil he is. You know what I mean?
So it's funny you were going at it, thinking about it from the stepdad angle.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and especially clicked when I was on like this third watch.
Yeah, right.
Third and a half watch, basically.
Yep.
Because I've fallen asleep to this a bunch, so I probably watched the first half of this movie 6 times, probably. But it immediately clicked in that very beginning, basically, and I was like, oh my God, this guy, I think Robert Mitchum and this character is the second best psychopath in film.
Yeah,
ever.
right. Absolutely.
It's Anton Chigurh.
Yes!
In No Country for Old Men.
Yes!
And then it's Robert Mitchum.
Right.
And because it's so... For 1955, like no spoilers, but just like how the movie does kind of start.
Yeah.
It opens up, basically, we are introduced to him. He's just coming off of murdering a woman. And he's driving, and he's just like, what was it, a widow lord? How many has it been?
Yeah.
6? 12?
Right.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. Like, he's so evil.
He is crazy.
He immediately goes to a burlesque show and almost murders a burlesque dancer for being a burlesque dancer.
Yep.
And it's like that Anton Chigurh where it's like, oh, no, he has principles.
Exactly. And it's a twisted morality to it.
And he is principled in the fact where he will do anything he needs to hunt you down.
Yes.
And even if you give him what he wants, whatever, he will probably kill you. It's that same thing as Woody Harrelson says when he meets Josh Brolin in the hospital. He's just like, you don't understand. He's not like me and you.
Yep.
Like he'll just kill you because you've inconvenienced him.
Right.
That's this guy. Like this guy's second best psychopath on screen, in my opinion.
It really is. He really is. And but back to some of the kid perspective of this. I think what's interesting is that they make such a psycho on screen, whether it's through Mitchum's acting or like the principles of this character, but the story is largely through the son's point of view.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, conflict builds from a child's perspective. We have a default distrust from the preacher, obviously from what we're able to kind of see, but we're also kind of like always seeing his hypocrisy of what his ethics are clear as day, I would say for the kids, you quickly said that lucky they are pretty good. I actually don't think my mind is super made up on the kid acting in this.
I like the boy. The girl is pretty young.
They're they're I don't know, they're like oddly robotic. I just wanted fear. I wanted something more real out of it, and their performances were definitely raised up by the material.
Okay.
But I just wish we got more fear out of both of these children.
Were a little flat.
Yeah, they almost felt robotic at times.
You know what? Yeah, you're not wrong in that. And maybe I'm giving a little bit more leeway than what I would in present day, just because of it being an older film. I like him better than her, but she is like... what is she, 5?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Rip her apart.
Right.
But, okay, yeah, I think that's a fair critique. But you agree that they got along enough throughout the film where you were hanging on still.
Yeah, and without spoilers, what I mean by raised up by the material is a lot of what's done in the actions, like when Powell comes back after kind of being outside of their lives for a little bit, you see the daughter run right to his side and hug him, and it's like, oh wow, there's like so many layers here of like the kind of the emotional tether that he has just as an authority, as an adult figure in these children's lives.
In fact, the age separation between the boy and the girl is really good because the boy never quite latches on, but the girl is just like, well, this is new daddy, so obviously like now I love him and trust him.
Yep. Exactly.
Which makes one dinner scene really good when it's the three of them together.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just like, this guy.
Yeah, and this is after some of like the most heavy-hitting scenes that he has instilled the fear into them, and he's very much revealed himself as what he is. Like I said, don't exactly have my mind made up on the kid acting. I'm a little bit on the knife's edge, just in the sense of like really good material and still gets the beats of like what their characters are going through across. Just the acting itself, unfortunately, a little bit robotic. And again, 55. I mean, we're talking like,
that's a
we covered Paper Moon not too long ago, and it's just like, well, that's in the 70s, and that's like, all right, well, that's like kid acting in a especially good circumstances, where it's like you're acting with your father. Here, it's like, well, I don't know how you would have fixed that, at the time. So.
Well, I mean, I think you probably had some better kid acting as well, but I think your point is, I'm not going to disagree with that. I just think I guess it was good enough for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I also don't have a better spot to mention it, but there is a fishing scene that there was not many laughs this week. I was pretty miserable on the couch, I'll be honest, but there was a out loud laugh. So there is a character, I think his name is Uncle Brickle, Uncle Buck, something like that.
Uncle Birdie Steptoe.
Yep, Uncle Birdie, who is not actually the uncle to the kid. But
it's kind of like an old timer by the river.
Yeah, you spend your time with them. They go fishing, yada yada. There's a fishing scene where they have a good it's a great scene. It's kind of like he's guiding him through the new stepfather, his nerves and whatnot, and he catches a fish. He yanks this thing across the screen. It goes across the screen. The next scene is both of them taking up oars and beating the fish to death. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
I just think it's
such a violent turn to a fishing scene that they just beat this fish to death.
Listen, things were done differently back then. Well, guys used to have like the old time,
like a mallet.
Yeah, kind of like a mallet, and they would just bash it immediately. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's something to be said about putting it out of its misery. A lot of people chain it up and keep it in the water, and I just have a living fish chained up.
Right.
To each his own, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know what.
It was such a drastic scene, the turn of it, because it was like a heartwarming, like, and you'll get through it, bud, basically. And then it was just like, get him! It was so ridiculous.
I don't know what progressive fishing views that Uncle Birdie Steptoe had in 1955.
Right. Already an old timer in 55. Pretty rough.
Man, that was funny though.
Yeah. Let's talk about Robert Mitchum though, because he is f***ing electric in this. On screen, I mean, it is no wonder that Mitchum gets to play Max Cady in the original Cape Fear, coming off of this a few years later.
Right.
Especially for this.
Oh my God!
flavor.
How funny is that?
Yeah.
Because who is playing him in the new Cape Fear coming out? It's Javier Bardem.
It is Javier Bardem.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even pick up on that. Thank you for saying that.
It's the Anton Chigurh energy. Principled psychopath. Sugar. That's sugar.
I'll cut you off. Sorry, that's too good,
though. No, that really is. It's the twisted religious spin to this character that makes that such an easy bridge to Katie. But wow. Harry Powell. I mean, like you said, Tom, I mean, this is a all-timer villain performance in 55.
It's so good.
In 55.
What did you think, just real quick to cut in, like that initial 5 minutes of him? Because you get a lot with it. You get him driving by himself. He has a relationship with God, which is insane.
Right.
You get to see his knife, and then you see his knuckles. Like when you saw Hate,
what
were you in almost immediately? Or were you like, this is cheesy and corny?
Well, once I saw the knuckles, it did spring what the connection is. This is, I mean, that's come most famous to the character, is the love and hate knuckles.
Yeah.
You can really see that his iconic speech that he says multiple times throughout cinema, most notably when he kind of explains the main one of like love winning over hate or hate winning over love. That's recreated in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. Same thing.
Right. Okay.
So like that's definitely been like something I recognize. I was like, wow, this is the origins of it, you know. But like there are just a few scenes where my jaw was on the floor with how much of a psychopath they make this guy. I mean, it is an incredible performance. I love the super dramatic music cues to every time he's on screen. That's what I mean. Again,
him
like
singing or just the actual music of the film?
The actual music cues, like if you will, the Max Cady Cape Fear overture coming when he's on screen. Like the same kind of concept going on here. Every scene where you see him struggling with the slipping mask he has created to kind of blend into society. So amazing. I love the moments when he's so close to the money and he's so close to actually like hurting these kids.
Yeah.
You see him almost go like dead eyes. It's like shark eyes.
Right.
There's a scene where the daughter runs away. Pearl runs away under like a little, like, I don't know if it's an awning or like the steps to the front porch or something like that. And he's in front of like people that he has to maintain the preacher persona. And he just whips out the knife and he's like starts like kind of jabbing at her a little bit. It was just like, oh wow, he cannot even control himself. He's that crazy.
You see it, and you see oftentimes, like when he gets inspired by God to do something evil, he always looks up, kind of.
Yes.
I mean, nothing's more famous than that scene when he's with his wife.
Oh, yep. Absolutely.
And I mean, sorry if I'm jumping ahead. I'm curious to hear some other scenes from you, but that is just so iconic. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And then the third time I saw it and the fourth time I saw it, I'm just like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And not only that, how great it is and what a great decision that this is black and white.
Yes.
This is a film that should be black and white. It is, and it's fantastic that it is.
Absolutely. I think that's where I'm kind of coming from of like why this is a watch, a reason you check this movie out is for how gorgeous it is.
It's unbelievable.
It's gorgeous for a black and white film. In fact, I think it might be one of the best looking black and white films I've ever seen. Like it really is that quality. But you hit the nail on the head. By far, my favorite scene comes at about like 39 minutes in. It's a scene in a bedroom. The bedroom itself has such crazy shadow work to it.
Oh, and the shapes of it too.
Yeah.
The way they play that room off.
Exactly.
Amazing.
It's almost like the character sees the shadows and the different light reflection of this room and like thinks he's in a church or something like that. This whole like kind of diluted God angle. Mitchum looking up at the light. It's just like I'm watching this scene. I was like, whoa. Whoa, he is so crazy. Like, how in 55 did they let this man go this crazy?
Sticks his hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like an all-time villain performance. And that scene, I mean, we can't talk about it too much because it is like a scene you have to see with your own eyes. Yeah, exactly. This is like we said already, later on in the film where we have Powell interacting with the kids a lot more. This has come after a point that his character has shown the villainy to characters in the runtime.
Right.
We have been revealed to the depths he's willing to go to, and just really, really amazing. That shot was incredible. I would say all the shots in the basement are gorgeous. Sometimes there was like almost a surrealism that it felt like the shadows of the basement were like a play, or like it felt like a set in a dreamlike way. Really, really interesting. But most of all, I love how they shoot the silhouette of Mitchum throughout the film. Oftentimes, you will see his figure on the horizon of shots as the kids are on the run, and it's unbelievably unsettling. It's such a
He's a demon.
Yeah,
he's a demon.
It's so crazy. There's a shot that they're like in a train car or something like that. I forget where they wake up, and the son wakes up and he hears this song that Pal kind of sings as like a foreboding tune, but it sets in that he probably understands exactly where they are, where these kids are.
Right.
And he is on the horizon, silhouetted as a way of torturing them, a way of like kind of,
haunting.
Yeah.
Haunting, absolutely.
Really, really, like, unsettling for us as the audience, unsettling even more for the horror of these kids,
And then when he gets closer, then the song, him singing kicks in.
Yeah.
It makes its own terror.
Yeah. Really great. Really great. It's honestly shocking to me how something this old can be this satisfying to watch. If you enjoy a great villain on screen, you owe it to yourself to check this out. We're going to go ahead and give Night of the Hunter 1955 an 84.
An 84%, a big boy alert, a must-watch for anybody out there, basically.
It was
enough to an 85.
So good, so good.
Thank God. I was nervous that you were going to approach it more so like my first watch.
Okay,
and I'm glad that you're at my third watch.
Right.
Very me.
Right.
Especially with this content, because I was a little bit perplexed at it
of like what tone it was.
The tone, and just again, we're with the kids a lot, and it's that whiplash and good and evil. The fact that, like I said, you don't have gray. It is good and evil. It is black and white. You have some ignorance in people, but that's not morally gray people. They think that they're good. You have that one couple, that woman, that townswoman that just absolutely it's adored with him.
Yep.
So there's ignorance to play. But even, I think so, that whiplash back and forth and like, what is this? Like, what is this? And then again, just slowly watching it more and more. Truly falling in love with it, falling with the character, falling with just the arc of it too, and at the end, even with his daunting song that gets co-opted by good a little bit,
Yep.
It's phenomenal. I can't tell you how many times I blasted that alone in my vehicle because it's beautiful, but also it's one of the biggest psychopaths ever.
Right.
I can't tell you how. We could spend 2 hours on this,
Yep.
and almost after we finish this, I want to get into more detailed stuff.
Yep.
Just no spoilers. 84%. It's all you have to know about it, folks. Did I have a two shoes for this? I don't think I did. I have some two shoes today,
okay,
but I think let's just let this sit with an 84%.
Sure,
folks. That's a big score. 1955.
We're definitely on the same page too. Like this is like. Man, striking how modern it feels, how satisfying it is as a villain on screen.
It's short,
this is
short too.
Yeah, this is this takes my opinion of the 50s as a decade in film and cracks it open, busts it open, because if this is possible, anything is possible in any decade of film.
I like a compilation on the site, which is like Vinny's 50s picks.
Yeah.
Because
or just best of each decade, maybe. It's just man, this was so good.
Man, so happy.
Yeah,
so happy to say that.
You killed it with this pick.
You must, and this is not the first one you watched.
No, I watched Master and Commander. I watched the last.
Oh, that's
first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so an 84%. Let's see if John Wayne can top it. Grab that revolver, John Wayne. Here we go. Folks, this is 1961's. This is The Comancheros. Starring John Wayne. This is directed by Michael Curtis. This is the same guy who directed...
Casablanca?
Yeah, I was going to say that, but Casablanca.
Yep.
And he also did White Christmas.
Yeah.
So he's a big name. This was his last film. I said this last week, where he was very sick, Michael Curtis. So he wasn't there a decent amount for filming.
Yes.
And that's where John Wayne kind of stepped in and took over directing duties. He doesn't get a co-direction, though, because he really wanted all of the credit to go to Michael Curtis because the writing, I think, was kind of on the wall as far as his health goes.
Interesting. Stand-up decision, for sure.
Right. So this is heavy John Wayne movie, heavy Stuart Whitman movie, which we don't really know too much about him and that actor. playing Paul Regret as the character. Why don't you set this film up, The Comancheros, and I'm happy to take it back and forth with you.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised how much I remembered about this on the rewatch.
Oh, okay.
I definitely, like, for some reason, really remembered this movie. I would say, sadly, I didn't really, like, love my time with this one. I'm not trying to shoot you down.
That's okay.
Tom.
It's not. I'm not surprised. How about that?
I fear just with, we've covered now a good 10+ John Wayne films on the podcast, whether it's
We're at 11.
Okay, all right.
I'm pretty sure we're at 11.
Yeah. We're at a point that I feel like we have covered the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? We have done, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. We've done Stagecoach. We've done like the big heavy hitters to this.
We haven't done all the heavy hitters.
No?
Which is, I'm happy for you.
Okay.
And we're purposely kind of peppering them in there. I mean, we haven't covered Rio Bravo.
Okay, true. All right, fair.
The El Dorado. There's a couple others that, that might have to be in there. Just saying.
Well, at least
shootist.
This seems like it is more mid-barrel. This is in the
okay, all right,
in the way of the not the cream anymore. This is more just in the vast amount of John Wayne westerns that you kind of get. However, I do believe this was also rated before. But I could not find this on the website or Master Sheet. I'm not sure if you deleted it or...
I didn't delete it.
Okay, this was because we watched this.
We watched it. Oh, no. I had the same issue. No, we watched it.
Yeah.
It's not on the site, and no, it's not on the master list.
Weird.
Which Last of the Mohicans was. I found it.
Yeah. Very odd.
So I don't know what happened there.
I could have sworn this was rated.
The biggest thing is this could have... something happened where this... was on document 1 when it was a Word document, and it didn't do, if for some reason something didn't transfer over to the Excel.
Yeah, true.
That could be.
But yeah, there is some things to love around this film, and I think it does relate to actually the production. We already talked about, as you just introduced, the kind of the dual directing credit on this one, which I think is a very sweet note. It's also a pretty ambitious production, too. This is a big Western shot in CinemaScope on location. Coloring by Deluxe. I don't know what Deluxe is, but I saw that in the opening credits. I was like, all right.
That's your new rap name, Vince.
Deluxe. And I think it shows in the visuals in a big way. If there's one piece of praise I think this film has that raises above, my other thoughts on this movie, is that this is a drop-dead gorgeous Western. As far as, like, as soon as we are in Comanchero territory, this is, like, one of the best-looking Westerns I think I've seen in a long time.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Just like, the colors are so vibrant. The skies are so, like, picturesquely blue with, like, one little, like, cow tail, cloud in the sky, you know what I mean? Like, there's something there of, like, this is, like, a very, very... glossy, flashy Western, even if it is just going to be kind of, I don't know, by the books or middle of the road for me as far as like what a Western can be or what a John Wayne Western can be.
And you know what? I think you're right there with most people when it comes to this as a John Wayne film. I put this in a little bit A tier.
Okay.
I don't know if we're doing that stupid S tier stuff that everyone does.
Absolutely.
But I will put this in A.
Okay.
Believe it or not, there's just something about it. And I get what you're saying where I think we've got the cream of the crop. Let's, Again, I still think we have a handful of films in there that can surprise you still and get pretty good scores.
Okay.
Not that I thought that this was one of those for you, but I know it is one for me. Just the story. The story is bigger and goes more places than just a simple one-town Western film.
Sure, right. It's not bad guy shows up high noon and then that's it. This does have like a sprawling aspect. And yeah, you're right. It is ambitious in like kind of genre-wise what it feels like.
It does this. I cannot believe how much happens in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's under an hour and 50 minutes.
That's a good point.
It shocks me. This is a mini epic that gets you home in an hour and 45. And there's something I go back to all the time where I'm just like, what? We still have they're not even at the Comancheros yet, and it's like almost.
That's true. There's a lot crammed into that.
A lot going on.
40.
There's a lot going on.
Absolutely. Well, the Comancheros is a true Western pitting the Texas Rangers against both the Comanche and criminals alike. But at its heart, and I guess this is maybe the hot take, I feel like it operates like a early buddy cop movie in ways. That's where I feel like this has something to its plot structure of like, I don't know if this is working for me, but it's kind of interesting to get this in this form,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Set up by an opening pistol duel, the state of Louisiana will extradite Paul Regret for murdering a judge's son. News of this reaching the ears of the Texas Rangers, most notably Jake Cutter, played by John Wayne. Pretty dang quick, Cutter is throwing the cuffs on Monsieur Regret. The amount of times John Wayne says Monsieur. And hitting the dusty trail to get him behind bars, although their journey, the French gambler squirms out of the lawman's grasp only to catch up further down the line. When Big Jake is pulled away for, frankly, a cutting-edge undercover gun sting. This is another thing. It's a buddy cop movie, but also has like a undercover cop like plot point in it.
I know.
It's just like, were the Texas Rangers doing this? I have no idea.
It was based on a book.
Yeah,
that was loosely based on real life.
Right, and it was
over a real Texas Ranger.
The book was written in 1952, so they didn't have like a later genres to pull from, you know what I mean? So he discovers the connection in this gun sting between local Comanche and a secret society called the Comancheros close to the border. Little does he know that both he and his bounty mark will both be pulled into the case soon enough. Like I said, I remembered a lot about this movie.
Okay.
Despite only seeing it once. I mean, who knows how far back? We're talking definitely pre-19.
We probably watched it 6 years, maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
It's been.
Yeah. I don't know why it stood out in that type of way. Maybe that's a positive to it. But
maybe, but also I don't think we actually watched that much John Wayne.
Yeah, true. Right.
Before.
This was one of those like early dives into John Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with Red River and stuff like that, where that really stands out.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. My kind of madness on it boils down to two things. I think the pacing in that beginning is kind of rough. I wouldn't say pulling teeth. That's way too harsh for this. But it just takes a lot of runtime to just set up anything interesting. And there is stuff that's interesting later on. There are really interesting nuggets to John Wayne's characters that are not like spoon-fed to us. Like they're there for you to pick up along the way of like, oh, no, there is complexity to this character. Like you could say like, oh, it's just John Wayne doing his thing and he's a Texas Ranger and he's just doing that thing. But no, there's a backstory to this character that's like not spoon-fed to you that you can pick up throughout the movie. It just takes a while to get to like anything interesting like that.
Okay.
I did like Ward Bond coming in as like this side character to shake things up. If anything, I was saying
Not Ward Bond.
Oh.
I mean, you're talking about Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin, thank you.
Who is I feel like that is a classic, like old school, almost Western actor too, but actor in general for you.
Yeah.
He's so good at playing mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually kind of similar type of roles, for them.
That we've seen him in, yeah.
Yeah. I like him coming in. If anything, I was saying I wish Stuart Whitman was Lee Marvin the whole time. I wish there was like a really like hot rivalry between these two that like...
That's interesting.
You have a despicable son of a bitch that John Wayne has to deal with for the entire time. You get some of that early on with like Whitman trying to like escape and it feels he's always trying to squirm out of his grasp, but I just wanted more of that. Lee Marvin does kind of fall out of the story as quickly as he jumps in. I really like that section. I just wanted more of that.
I knew you were going to. I know it's a complete side plot of John Wayne going undercover.
Yeah.
And us dealing with him.
Yeah.
I love the poker scene personally. Like there's some scenes in here that I absolutely love that bring it up an extra tier for me.
Yep.
But I also think that I thought you were going to like the sophistication of the actual bad guy of the film in the Comancheros. I mean, wheelchair bad guy, secret society. I was like, I feel
James
like this is Vin. This is Vin. Yeah, Spectre. Yeah. It's Spectre of the West.
For real.
I thought that was maybe going to get you a little bit. Because I don't see this as an ordinary Western. I understand it's got some beats and maybe has some goofiness and it's got some looseness to it, especially for maybe that first half an hour, first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I would say when we come to the first real, when we come to the ranch where it's time to bury some bodies, basically.
Yes.
With Whitman and Wayne.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's when, to me, the movie really starts.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's true. And that's where if anything, I was thinking of Send Help. with some of the loop of just like, oh, you think they're friends, and actually they're not. You know?
Okay. But bad guy. Once when Lee Marvin goes away,
yes.
and we actually see bad guy, nothing much was clicking for you.
I don't know.
Didn't have his grips in.
Not really. I would say when it comes to like the Comancheros piece, I think it was interesting, but I don't know. I found myself wanting, maybe even to the point to counter your point of like it's a very sprawling story, maybe a little bit more focus on the Comancheros themselves, you know, and like and that society earlier on in the film. Obviously, we get the introduction to the love interest,
right? Yeah,
which I'm forgetting her name. I would have maybe loved some A plot, B plot that we check in on that side a little bit more often throughout the film. I do think the plot structure of like bounty hunter and criminal, again, almost like a proto buddy cop formula to it.
It's a very good way to look at it.
You know, and the Rangers too. They're technically cops. Right. So and then we have this gun sting. You know, he's undercover. It's just like what is
gun
this?
runners? Yeah,
this is proto genre. You know, I don't know. It's not that I don't like that structure. If anything, again, you know, I found that kind of striking and unique. It was just like the combo of Whitman and Wayne. I don't think they bounced really well together.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And maybe that's more on Whitman's part because, like I said, there is, you know, some nuggets of backstory we get about Wayne's character in this that are kind of interesting how they're delivered to you. They're not like spoon-fed at all. But most of the time, I just feel like them together fell flat for me. It just was just kind of like all right, almost anyone else but Stuart Whitman.
Well, okay.
Not that I have anything against the guy. I have no idea what else he would even be acting-wise.
So I kind of like him. I do see how you and probably other people would get there.
Yeah.
Also, these roles were played around with different actors a lot. Like there was multiple names passed around, big names passed around at multiple times.
Okay.
And it does kind of seem like once when you get Wayne, it would have been nice to have maybe a bigger name. Alongside playing Paul Regret.
Or just a drastically different character. Obviously, it's based off the book, so you need this French gambler character in it.
Has polish.
Right.
And yet, right. Sure.
But I thought it would be interesting, even in the direct comparison of Wayne being paired with another criminal in the movie, that Lee Marvin's character, just someone truly ruthless and wild, being the alternate to, you know, his Texas Ranger lawman.
Sure.
I can't really name an actor that would be a better pair of that. You honestly
have the original Django.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Would the decades work out? That's what I was going to throw to you, because you know a lot of these old Western actors. Who do you think either maybe was in the running for it, or maybe even like a dream casting?
I would
if you personally had to replace.
See, I would really have to think about that, because here's the thing: you actually want not a bad guy playing the role, because he's not a bad guy.
Yep,
and he is sophisticated in a way.
Right.
I don't really know who was bigger than Whitman at the time. I mean, I know that Whitman was a smaller actor.
Yep.
I don't know who's playing that role. I can picture a bunch of people that could step into the John Wayne role. But Whitman, I don't know. I have to think about that for a bit.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't sitting there upset with that, actually. I like the two of them together, personally.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know. For me, it was just a little flat.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
Totally fine.
Especially when we got something kind of, not unique, but we got something kind of... again, not spoon-fed with Wayne's character. So I wanted that to be even more lean into that a little bit more with the duo on screen.
It is, you know what, though? It is definitely, so this is 1961. Of course, in 60, he does The Alamo.
Yes.
He's directing as a part of. But we are now, this is the entrance of 60s Wayne.
Yep.
Which is very stereotypical Wayne when people think of John Wayne. So we do have some... what people would find cheesy lines of just, that classic great guy one-liner type deals.
Yep.
His burrs and his roughness has been sanded down by the time we get to the 60s. Now, I every decade of Wayne I like, and I like for different reasons. But this is 60s Wayne, and I think that also has a mediocrity that a lot of people kind of find with him.
Yeah. It's not that I don't think he's just plugging it in, because again, there's clearly aspects of this character that are beyond surface level. But there is that aspect, absolutely, of just like, whoa, this is a John Wayne-ass John Wayne movie.
Right, yeah.
We are getting a, like, this is the full Duke persona in effect. You bring up an interesting point, though. 1 year after or same year, we get Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Next year.
He
almost looks like thinner in that one, too. Like,
yeah. No less the black and white, kind of
black and white,
changing the perception of.
And he's not main character either.
Exactly. I think that's interesting, though, because what I like so much about John Wayne in Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is that he does. Yes, he is just John Wayne. He almost fits into the role, but that role is so important to the arc of that story that he is the rough cowboy that's willing to kind of just like take the heat on him, take the heat on his back and whatnot. He's the man's man.
And the dying west of lawlessness.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's maybe an example of like he might be really enrooted or ingrained into this shtick, this John Wayne-ness of his name, but that's an example of him really using it in a unique way,
right?
With the project.
And hey, listen, you got John Ford on that one too,
right?
Right. I mean, that was quite the production.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said already, though, this is a pretty damn good-looking movie, for sure among, I would say, the better Westerns of the decade. Once we get into Comanchero territory, nearly every shot is drop-dead gorgeous to look at. I mean, like, really, this was just like a very, very pretty movie. It's also where we get your famous impression, Tom, which... what's so funny is, like, when I think of this movie, or I think of just you yelling Comancheros,
yes.
Like I hear your voice more than I like hear the movie.
Yeah, I infect you with the sickness. Unfortunately,
absolutely, absolutely.
It's this Chisholm, John. It's Chisholm with John Wayne.
Yep.
And then also, anytime you see Tom Cruise doing stunts, I'm just on your shoulder going,
yes.
Vinny does his own stunts. He does his own stunts. I infect you with an earworm. That is horrible.
Exactly. What shocked me though was just like how little gusto the extra that actually shouts Comancheros in this gives. We should re-edit this with you as him, because this extra, he barely gives it any gumption. He gives any oomph, chutzpah.
John Wayne says it once, and then the guy who actually says it twice. You're right. It's just like
he's just like Comancheros,
and that's
like
it.
You kill it in comparison.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. No, I mean it. That extra was disappointing, rewatching this. Another production side note, we have Elmer Bernstein doing the soundtrack for this, which is really nice. I mean, like, really just like a classic Western score, but like, I think an important score or soundtrack to hear in that it is like a very traditional Western. Again, I think also like, just tying it into the Texas Rangers period and being like a law story, law over the chaos of the West, that's where I kind of do appreciate some of its more, typical elements. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I at the same time, I wanted something like unique and something to surprise me a little bit more. At that same time, I am still like appreciative of the elements of like, there's a lot of polish to this. I mean, 61... There have been a lot of Westerns made. This is kind of not at the peak of Westerns, but this is a Western in full gallop. They know what they're doing. They know how to bring polish to this genre. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
and for me, there's always something hanging on this film that strikes it up a bit more. I do like the visuals. I like the music. And there's parts of the music for me that again raise it just a bar a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's a shot or there's a small little plot aspect here that raises it a little bit more, and that's why it's like I want to watch this because I know this wasn't going to be picked basically for John Wayne July.
True.
And I was in the mood to watch it personally.
Yeah, true.
So that's why, because with John Wayne July is maybe we have, I would say maybe 2 more years left this summer, next summer, especially now that you're getting worried that you're out of them. There's like I said, there's also trilogies with him that we need to probably get into. There's some other heavy hitters that we just need to focus on, and so I just kind of wanted it in there. I wanted a piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. I think that's about it as far as kind of my notes. I mean, I think overall, I wanted something interesting done in the runtime like we get in that first 20 minutes, or rather at that 20-minute mark. We just don't kind of get back to it again. But my criticism there is kind of a moot point because it is based off a novel, and that would be changing what this novel is actually, what the story of the novel is. It is a true blue Western, which is enjoyable to see it produced at such a high quality. There's just really nothing that, for me, grabbed my attention in a big way like the other John Wayne movies that are highly, highly rated on the website are. With that said, we're going to go ahead and give the Comancheros 1961 a 57.
Okay.
Sorry, Tom.
You know what, though? 57. I don't know what I was thinking. I was hoping for the 60s at least. But that's okay. 57 because it really balances out when this gets to 2 shoes and one of those laces is tied.
There it is.
I was going back and forth on it, and I was going through all my other John Wayne movies. There's something about it, you know?
Yeah, so can you speak a little bit to the rewatchability of it? Because as I was watching this, it was in the back of my mind of wow, this is like a comfort watch for Tom
yes,
to rewatch again and again. What about that works for you?
Well, again, I think this is, as far as 60s Waynes go, I love this as a 60s Waynes film.
Okay.
And just the very quick line of, this is a mini epic, or a small epic that gets you out in an hour and 45. Again, every single time it's over, I'm just like, we went to a lot of different places in this. There is some talent going on behind the camera. There's some talent going on with the music that steps it above, in my opinion. And I like some actual scenes. I love the undercover aspect. I love the flavor of Lee Marvin. And again, that poker scene, love it.
Yes.
To me, that's probably my favorite of the movie.
Yep.
And
you get where I'm coming from, too, of almost wanting more of that. I almost wanted that to be the whole movie because there is such an electricity between the two of them of is he going to blow his cover? Lee Marvin being a very psychotic, crazy, half-scalped man,
And I think that's what, it's easy for me to go back because we get a taste of a lot of things that it could have. Listen, the Comancheros are not in it. For it being called the Comancheros,
right.
They're not in it as much as you would think. That itself with the Secret Society is a lot more, as a Spectre of the West in the Texas territory. So I think there's enough elements of it that I get to see different kinds of John Wayne. I get to see different movies within this sub 2-hour film. Yeah. And you get Elmer Bernstein in there. You get some good shots. You get a good production going on. You get John Wayne. But with me and John Wayne, it's just, It's a different relationship, too, at this point. I love that Patrick Wayne is in this. So then we get the duo of father and son going on.
Who's Patrick Wayne?
So he plays Tobe in this. He plays the other Texas Ranger who's younger. He's one of the guys.
The one with the bad knee. And
when they get charged, and it's really only John Wayne, Regret, and then that other young guy. Yes, correct.
Yep. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's enough elements of it where, again, it just is more than just 2 shoes to me. When I look at a Cowboys, that to me is 2 shoes. One of my favorite
really?
Well, because of the kids. I mean, the kids.
That's true.
I love the Cowboys.
I love the Cowboys.
The Cowboys is a 2 shoes, 2 lace in my heart.
Yeah.
But judging it still as a film, to me, it's 2 shoes.
Right.
Another 2-shoe film I would is True Grit, honestly. I think the Comancheros, in my opinion, is better than True Grit.
Interesting.
So there's just enough there being elevated that I love it, and I think we only get a taste of this, that, the other thing where it's I could taste that again. Let me go back to this well.
Okay, interesting. I like that.
Anyway, so that's what that is, 57%, but a 2 shoes and a lace as well for the Comancheros. All right, let's get you out of that one. Let's see what we can do here with this one. Let's go ahead and jump right away to 1969.
Oh, wow.
I know, we're really... I shouldn't have done Comancheros. I don't know.
No. It was good. I liked throwing it in there. It was good.
And it's also weird we didn't have it rated, actually. So I'm glad that we can take
especially, again, I remembered this movie. I remembered, the arc of the movie, for
and
sure.
Don't fear, we do have some good John Wayne coming up. And then when we finish up Western Wayne, that's on me to do my own research.
Of finding some other gems.
You have to understand, when you go through John Wayne's IMDb, you don't realize how many not Westerns he did.
Oh, yeah, true.
Post Stagecoach, he does more not Westerns than Westerns.
Right.
I mean, the 50s, I think the 50s he does 20 movies. I believe 3 proper Westerns.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's also the flavor of cinema at the time being post-war.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And there's some gems in there, I'm telling you. I mean, even in the 40s, he has this weird one, Tycoon, that I watched. But that's for me to go through. There's a lot of sifting I have to do. He does 2 kind of Chinese-based ones, one called Blood Alley, and one, he does some things.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, that's that. And, we'll pick up with John Wayne in July for John Wayne July.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the reason why I picked this next one, which is Army of Shadows from 1969, big director Jean-Pierre Melville, known as one of the best French directors, one of those directors that other famous directors will always kind of credit and talk about. A John Ford-esque type thing, high to low.
Akira Kurosawa.
Right. He's one of these guys, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
He really did some noir detective stuff like no one else, and people have always, when you see the overcoat and everything like that, and the hat with the overcoat or the glasses, I mean, this guy made personas come to life, and personas that you can always pick up on, and stereotypes in films sometimes. It comes from this guy, a lot of this stuff. Anyway, this is definitely war-oriented. Seen this one 3 times now, or 3.5 times.
Wow.
And I knew I just wanted this guy on the list. I went heavy on this guy. I watched 4 of his films last year. I watched all of them twice, at least.
Awesome.
And we had to start covering them. I knew you were going to like it. Let's just get into it. Jean-Pierre Melville's Army of Shadows.
I mean, such an interesting and rewarding movie. I would say this was a rewarding movie the longer you stick with the story. It's a movie in the first half that I could respect, but maybe wasn't like really connecting with, But then evolved into a film in the second half that like I actually loved because I was actually now like attached to characters and how unique this feel of the spy world of the French Resistance was portrayed. Like it was like really, really an interesting movie.
And you do got to sit in it for a minute.
Exactly.
To pick up on your surroundings. What are we doing? Characters. Yep. Yeah, you got to follow. Yeah, definitely follow along, and which is really helped me second, third watch big time.
Absolutely. This is totally my first time watching anything from our director Jean-Pierre Melville, though, and not a huge filmography on this guy. Only about 14 movies total. The most recognizable probably being To Le Samurai from 1967. After seeing how inventive camera work was in this, story was in this, I absolutely want to make more time to watch from him. I mean, really, really great. I'm really not sure I can summarize a French film accurately, to be honest, but Army of Shadows is an espionage thriller that at first kind of nebulously sets up the world of intrigue to then show a make-or-break moment for our spy group based on the 1943 novel by Joseph Kessel that actually pulls from his real experience as a French resistance fighter. We are set in Nazi-occupied France in 1942 and introduced to Philippe Gerbier. Wait, is it Philippe Gerbier?
Yeah, Philippe Gerbier.
Yeah, an aloof 41-year-old man, an eminent civil engineer, but in actuality a high-ranking captain in the French resistance. Throughout the runtime, we blink around to see the many different operations of the group, including bringing on new agents to give us a first-hand glance into this world of espionage. We see the outfit grow to meet the needs of more complicated missions, and as bigger and bigger jobs come along, the narratives kind of smooths out to show us their biggest challenge yet. These spies understand one thing for certain, a kind of fatalistic worldview that they will be caught someday, and the only thing that they can do to prepare themselves is that they don't give up each other. I mean, Tom, I think your comparison last week to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is beyond perfect. And it's for how the movie really doesn't hold your hand at all in introducing us to the world of spies.
Right.
That world is cold, bleak. It's not luxurious at all. Obviously, this is not like your James Bond era spy. This is, French resistance.
Very different.
This is under, harsh occupation.
Real.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is how you operate as a real spy. This is not Hollywood glitz and glamour to it.
It's not sexy. It's not cool.
Exactly. This is like, oh, I have to leave town because I caught too much heat. Oh, now I have to spend 3 weeks in a and contemplate suicide. It's unreal, and it's very harsh for that reason.
Another movie that goes places too.
Yeah,
I can see why as well, especially when you first start watching this movie.
Yeah,
everything is laid out to you, and where you see this guy start out in the camp.
Yep.
You can follow the breadcrumbs of what's going on, but there is a lot of talking. There's just always information being let out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not all that important, whatever, but it helps things move along, and it does get you into it, and it slowly, the story just leaches into you in a way.
Yeah.
And to start where we were and to see this guy's journey is unbelievable. And it takes a minute just like, okay, do we care about this person? Is this person going to be along for the ride for a bit? Or what? Is that, or is it going to be gone? It's, you know what I mean? It's 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it's definitely a half an hour figuring things out.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially in that first half hour, too. It's like, it's hard to pick apart of just like what is the facade, like what is actually like the game or the mask that these characters have in their normal life, especially our main guy. So, and
we come in just almost like mid things going on.
Yeah,
it's not like we get started. It's not like this guy gets his double O's and that's where we start out.
Right. I think the whole traitor execution scene early on is a great example of just like how muddy the optics are of like what the organization is about, like even down to wondering of just like what is the resistance trying to accomplish scene to scene. And visually, this is shown in the colors of the film. The presentation of this is nearly every scene is bathed in a shadowy pale blue. This kind of color dedication might make an experience visually dull for some viewers, but I found it to be an amazing stylistic choice for how much is really like upheld in the runtime. This focus on blue, this focus on like even to the point of just like some scenes in like in interior rooms. It's like, did they like paint this and then do a filter on the camera? Like, what was the method of achieving some of the color in this, especially in when this was made in '69?
And it is very important that color thing because it's so throughout the film too. Like everything is very purposely done, but just the dreariness that is brought in everything, exterior, interior scenes.
Yeah,
there is just always dreariness going on.
Absolutely, and it's a self-serious tone, and that's what I think. Like I said, your comparison to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy knocks it out of the park, beyond perfect for this, and folks use that as a benchmark as well for your own, kind of curiosity of this film, because the ultra serious tone of how they conduct these operations, it's not glamorous.
No.
If anything, I would say probably a lot of these characters would say they don't want to be part of the French resistance, but they're kind of forced to by the occupation.
And just that feeling and how it's just, it kind of like never lets up. I told Vin this earlier where I consider this smoky slow.
Yeah.
It's slow. It doesn't really hold your hand, so please do pay attention.
Right.
Maybe nothing all that exciting is happening, but the more you give into the film, the more the film will give you.
Yes.
But it's slow. You're going to have some guys talking. You're going to have guys smoking cigarettes and talking.
Yep.
And the story goes.
That's a little what I mean with just like, there's a rewarding aspect. The longer you stick with this film, the better it gets. And you could say like, well, you're watching a film. You're going to, of course you're going to go through the story, but just like the more you pay attention to maybe the hard to swallow earlier parts, the better the payoff is going to be of the later half of the film.
One of those films that absolutely you enjoy even probably more, for me, enjoyed more on the second watch.
Yes.
Because that first half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm in, I know what the deal is, and I can even pick up on more and more as the movie goes on.
Yeah, what those specific operations are. I think that's the only area where I was a little torn on the story presentation. That first half intentionally jerks you around to like, and we're bringing in a new initiative, and we're dealing with a traitor in our midst, and we're dealing with like an exfiltration, we got to get someone out scene.
Right.
It seems like it was just like a peppering of these are the different things that the resistance is doing, and not necessarily like connected to themselves before we hit a stride later on. And I think presenting these various missions in a almost stream of consciousness style, it just created a slight disconnect with stakes for me. And I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, first couple times, like, watching this, what the hell was going on? You know what I mean?
Okay.
In that first hour of just like, oh, and we're just doing this now, and what's going on here,
Yeah, you got to hold on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, again, and folks, obviously, this is French. It's all in French. Subtitles are there. So you really are. You're either locked in or you're not.
Right.
So be in the mood to watch it, but boy, does it reward you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even just precursor, you giving this out, it's, I think, helpful for people who step into it for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting because the same quality that makes it unique is where it was kind of like grating with the experience a little bit, it. Yeah. But the proof is shown in that I did get attached to these characters. I did get attached to the stakes once the plot kind of smooths out into a singular focus. There's a plot beat, again, pretty much with like an hour left in the runtime of they have to get a comrade out of a hospital. And I think from then out, it's just like we're less stream of conscious. You can kind of track mission to mission what's going on a little bit more clearly.
You totally can.
Yeah. It's less jumping around just like, and we do it all, on the French Resistance.
Yeah, so. For sure.
Some amazing moments in this, though, along with some amazing lines. I love the initial dialogue of using the carrot or using the stick. Oh. Really, really awesome. Probably my favorite line of the movie: if you don't believe in death till the very last moment, the last split second, I'll never die. And it's just like, yeah, that's great. That's great. He then says, what a revelation right after that.
That's what Vin was saying while he was sick on the couch.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, maybe if I don't believe my body is dying at all, maybe I'm not sick. A small choice, and again, where I find myself super curious of our director and like his choices in these movies, being a total kind of rookie to it, I loved having the German soldiers having no subtitles whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting choice. I've talked on the podcast previously about I like when there's interesting language choices like that, and like what information we're privy to and what information are we specifically like taken away from. We talked about that.
Because we are the French Resistance.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah. It just translated a feeling of like hostility in the occupation and just like, wow, they are not, they're
not holding your hand.
Exactly.
As viewers.
Yeah, it added to such a fear, a fear to the opposition. Really, really great.
You said we touched on something like that before?
We touched on something like that with, what's the Jonathan Glazer one? Where it's in the concentration camp.
Jesus,
man, why can't I remember
my gosh,
that?
Sandra Huller.
Yes.
Wow. It's funny. I wanted to say Anatomy of a Fall.
You're right. Yeah. It might be even a wrong example, so we won't stick on it.
Okay.
Because that is a German film in German. So, but I've commented in the past of like I like when there are interesting choices with language done to create tension, or just to what the audience is actually intended to be included on. I think that's very interesting, and that was an interesting choice here, especially for like. The Nazi soldiers are scary. You know what I mean? A lot of the times they're also shot with like not showing their eyes. There's an early scene where our main guy is being held. He's, I guess, with an initiate. I don't know who the other guy is. The soldier that's looking over them is shot with like just total shadow under his eyes. You don't see like his humanity at all. It's just very, very interesting. Really, really like.
Very purposeful.
Yeah, exactly.
And you look at
very measured choices around all this. The same note as like the language.
And you look at how fast he's pumping these films out, and like some of his best films, and some of the most like renowned films. They are coming out within a year or just a couple years of each other.
Yeah.
And you just think the detail, and he must have that inner knack where he knows how to film. He shows up on set and sees it in his head and knows how to direct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get that feeling with him, like a Spielberg, same type of deal.
Absolutely.
Zone of interest, by the way.
There it is. Again, probably not a good example because they're speaking German in that.
I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah. So many long takes in this, which is very European. I would say they really do pay off for the atmosphere, though. I know you warned me of just like, I think you said last week of just like, you're not sure if there's something going on in the scene or not, or if it's like paused, But like, I really did enjoy how intentional and like long-winded these scenes were. I'll give kind of a good example and a bad example. The bad example is the flight that he has. The flight. I also should probably say the actor. It's Limo Ventura. Is our main guy.
Yeah, Lino Ventura.
And he was so good, too. He's so good.
He's in some things. I mean, you will see repeat actors in some of these as well in Jean-Pierre's films, which is great because there's some really good actors in this.
Yeah. But Ventura, he has to parachute back into France after visiting England. I mean, it's a flight out of hell. I mean, it is. He gets 2 in-flight meals, which I was surprised at. But you see basically almost real time this flight.
You're hanging out real time.
You see them, skipping over the pond. It's just outrageous. I would say on the very good end, I mean, almost on the excellent end, just about shy 2 hours into this, there's my favorite scene that I'll simply call the gun range. This whole scene was outright incredible. Like, outright incredible.
Even the one leading up to it. This let's call it the cigarette scene.
Yes.
I mean, just to lead it, the whole sequence.
That was so, like, yes, that scene definitely had fat to trim, but because it was so drawn out and because of how that built the tension.
Yes. Yeah.
So good. So good. So, like I said, I mean, I could see this, you watching this and be, someone be bored to tears or say, oh, well, this is a real French film, I get it.
Yeah.
But it is that, but it's one of the good ones, It is the cream. It is absolutely worth it. The atmosphere pays off nearly all the time in the movie.
Yep.
I mean, there's, like, I poke fun at that flight scene a little bit just because of just like it was kind of like, wow,
that's the one that was the one to cut.
Yeah,
you look at others and it's like, I don't know if this needs to be in the movie, but something about it looks nice. I'm happy to be here.
Way early in the podcast, we covered a movie called Ghost Story, where there's a scene where a character eats an entire pie.
Casey Affleck, isn't it?
No, I think it's no. I think it's his wife in the movie, if I remember correctly.
But someone basically eats a pie.
Yes, an entire pie, and you see them eat an entire pie, and that's what I actually came to mind when watching this flight scene. But there's a difference between like something that you can poke fun of and being like, oh wow, this is really like you could have trimmed this down, and then when it pays off, that being the difference maker. And boy, there are so many scenes in this,
so many
that long meditative takes really pay off for the atmosphere that this is trying to convey.
Oh, it sinks you into it.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic. Even I mean, kind of towards the end, there's things where it's like, should we kind of quicken things up here? I mean, it's just a guy in a building right now, but no, but you set in. I mean, you start. Well, I was so interested in the sets of this because I'm interested to see how he's portraying France at this time.
Yes.
Does it still look like this in 69? Or are they really dirtying up the wallpaper even? The grunginess of it and the war-torn aspect of it. You start to pick up on that a lot, especially as the more watches are through.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean with the colors of just like what's being done to achieve this like...
It works. Whatever it is, it works.
Blue color theme throughout every possible scene.
Right,
regardless of time of day or what they're doing to shoot that, Very interesting. I love the music. Very 60s in the best way possible.
The score is great.
Yeah, really beautiful, especially the main theme that plays a couple times throughout it, and especially for the end credits. I mean, really gorgeous.
I hate to say this, but you think about just the main score to The Godfather. This has, like, to me, this film has an importance to it. Like, this is the French Godfather almost.
Right.
And every time I hear that music come on, I love that main score. And that little whine a little bit to it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really, really great. But I'll say, Tom, there was a big range of scores I was going to give this because... Honestly, I think many will struggle with the dead air aspect of the film. But I settled on this score because of just how strong that last hour becomes. Enough that I wanted to watch this movie again. And thanks to you buying me the copy, I will certainly watch it again very soon. We're going to go ahead and give Army of Shadows 1969 a 78.
Okay, a 78%. This is lower than I thought.
Really?
Oh, I thought this was like, I thought just put it in the 80s. Bet my house.
Really?
Bet my house.
See, now I want to put it in the 80s.
Can you tell me the range of where you're at? Like,
well, it was definitely 81 was the high end, and I was, honestly, it was probably like 71 on the low end.
Okay, but that's, I think that's fair. Well, and we did a good job at maybe just letting people, this was one big warning.
Yeah.
and,
right.
And heads up, just be prepared type of deal.
Yep.
70. Listen, I'm cool with 78%. That's totally fine. I am giving this 2 shoes and a lace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, this one might even get bumped up. I want to go through 3 of his films again.
Okay.
Even this one again a little bit. Because I do want a definitive, even just Melville score in my own head.
Sure.
Of how I come down on these, because watched it multiple times already, and I'm still kind of scratching my head. Regardless, very good.
Yeah.
Like, very, very good. And when you're in a mood to watch a film like this, I go to this now. Like, I won't be going to Tinker.
I guess that's also in my head of just like,
This can scratch.
Not to over compare to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but just of gritty realism, realistic espionage. Like, I didn't know if that would outdo it. I also haven't seen Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in mad long.
In a minute, yeah.
So that'd be interesting to return to.
All right, a 78% for Army of Shadows, a 2 shoes and 1 lace. I'm so glad we started Jean-Pierre Melville. I'm pumped for you to kind of dive in and watch some more of his stuff.
Yep.
Let's go into The Last of the Mohicans, 1992. I think a lot of people know the name of the film. It's not that talked about anymore because now with Daniel Day-Lewis, there's 3 other massive pictures for him that you can go watch with his performances.
Right.
But 1992, I mean, this is full-on Daniel Day-Lewis, a huge director, and Michael Mann. I have never seen it before.
Okay.
I thought it wasn't rated. Then I saw that it was rated. And you also said last week, you're like, I remember watching it when I was on a Michael Mann kick.
Yeah.
And I remember not loving it.
Right.
So we returned to it again. Again, me for the first time. Really happy it was on the list still. I needed to get this watched.
Yeah.
But
I think it's worth checking out because it does have a name to it, but...
It's worth talking about, too. It's got 2 names, and it's got 3 names. People know Last of the Mohicans.
Sure.
I think it was even just Oscar-wise in the running for some things. It's worth talking about because of Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep.
It's worth talking about it through a Michael Mann watch.
Yep, absolutely.
So all those 3 things kind of hit. And also, I'm excited just to talk it out with you. I think I need a buddy to just talk to about this movie. 1992's Last of the Mohicans set it up.
Well, this was rated before, and despite my love for Michael Mann, I really was only lukewarm on it. And that feeling returned to me once again. Especially for how slow the pacing feels and how kind of uninterested I was in the romance of the story. And not because I'm not usually interested in romances or love triangles or anything like that, but I feel like the movie is a little uninterested in the romance as a plot point as well. And especially how you look at the editing of this movie, even in its climax, kind of breezes past what should have a lot more punch, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of just doesn't hit in the ways that I certainly think Michael Mann movies hit.
In the ways that the material could lend itself to hitting harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and the legacy of the film and the name, So it's based off of a novel by the same name, dating all the way back to 1826. This is actually not also the first film adaptation of the story, believe it or not. 1936's Last of the Mohicans was directed by George Setz, and surprisingly is pretty beloved by a lot of directors. That's what lands this with Michael Mann, because kind of in researching, I was just like, why did Michael Mann want to do this? You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The story is cool.
Apparently, this was a childhood movie, this 36 version.
This 36 one. I'll tell you what, the movie ended.
Yeah.
This one, the Michael Mann one, I immediately went on and turned on the old
Oh, really?
One. Yeah.
Okay. And
I fell asleep to it, but
thoughts.
The beats are there.
Okay, interesting.
There is a glossing over kind of simpleness to it.
Okay.
That's a little cheeky, I want to say. Kind of
even for 36.
Yeah,
interesting.
Well, I mean, kind of like how I felt about the original Scarface.
Oh,
when I went back and
I see.
When I went back and watched that, it just has a little bit figuring itself out.
Yeah,
a little
tame
bit
in comparison.
But for that early on, the beats are there.
Yeah,
in a way.
Right.
Everything is smaller scale. Everything is a little bit just, I don't know, 36 or 37.
Right.
But very interesting that this was a love of his.
Yeah. This was a childhood favorite that he would have. So interesting. As far as the story goes, The Last of the Mohicans is a colonial era epic and period piece romance. It's set in the French Indian War of 1757. The tightening grasp of British colonial rule forces them to gather militias to combat war parties of both factions. Daniel Day-Lewis is playing Hawkeye, a trapper who lives on the outskirts of this conflict. As a boy, he was adopted by the Hudson Valley Mohicans, and as a man, he steers clear of the troubles brought into the New World. The flames of war, however, will soon pull in everyone, as when Hawkeye and his men become trapped within a fort under siege, there will be no other choice than to raise arms for a country they have no alliance to. I would say, that's even. I'm now reading that. That's a brief intro. That really doesn't even cover the romance piece of it.
It has to be brief.
Yeah,
it has to be brief.
Yeah. I think for me, there's just not a lot that pulls me in this movie. I think the lighting in scenes kind of sucks.
Okay.
Even if it's realistic for the time period. The shame is this. I don't know the cinematographer off the top of my head, but he works with Michael Mann on like all of like the main line of his movies.
Okay.
I think just like, yeah, it's not a good-looking movie.
Dante Spinotti.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that they want to try to be, at least go for as natural as possible.
Yeah.
And who knows what tricks they're really doing and everything like that.
Right.
That's interesting that you were picking up on that.
Yeah. It takes about half the story's runtime to get relatively stuck in plot momentum. We kind of just get stuck in the mud once we hit the fort, which... Again, almost along the lines of what I was saying with Comancheros is like, I can't pick a bone with it too much because that's the novel.
Right.
So my beef is with the original story. But it's just like, I wish we didn't get stuck in the fort. It feels like absolute sludge on the pacing of this movie.
Okay, but here's the thing. The fort is what can solidify the romance. And if there's parts to hit with the romance and make me care a little bit more, this it's fort time.
It's fort time.
I mean,
we got to mingle in the fort.
I mean, we very clearly. I mean, basically, Act 1, 2, and 3. Act 2 is going to be around the fort at least. Basically, for the bulk of Act 2 is the fort. I don't care what the novel is, but if the novel is close to the film, you've got stuff here.
Yeah.
I gotta say, and I'll say it now. There were some decisions that were made on this film that absolutely baffled me. I mean, absolutely was like, did we not have time for another take? Was this the director's vision? I really, even though there's some pros to this movie,
okay,
and this is kind of my era in history, and I just got a lot of my heat on this comes down on the director, Michael Mann.
Really?
Not really on many other people. This is direction I have issue with.
Yep.
And was he in charge, too, of doing some of the screenplay work?
Yeah, I'm not sure as far as the adaptation.
A lot of people. Oh, yeah, no, he was. Him and Christopher Crowe, and they did kind of go off the original screenplay a little bit.
Okay.
But Michael Mann's fingerprints are on this a whole lot. And I got to tell you, there's just some random stuff where it's like, I think we need this. I think I need to see these two characters having this moment together.
Yes.
And I'm okay with them doing it with this in the fort.
Right.
Why does it look like this? Why is this the silliest thing I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Why am I not feeling this? I think the sister was so heavily underdeveloped in a way that was incredibly weak, that didn't speak to me, phenomenal director, that is Michael Mann.
Yep. She's basically just a tag-along for the romance triangle.
And the arc of the character and what she does, or more so doesn't do, in the film, I was just like criminally underdeveloped as a character, and could have added heart to the film. This film is lacking a surprising amount of heart that I just think could have come through a little bit more.
Yeah.
If Army of Shadows made you feel, this is a movie that's ripe for making you feel and tear your heart out in a way and whatever. No. And I really blame it on direction in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the story, what happens, from A to B, what happens in between and these different arcs. And on paper, it's like, maybe I'll just read the book and get something interesting out of this because, man, the way this is shot and done, I just don't know.
Yeah, because I think by the end, there's an interesting... The story has something interesting to say about like what war brings to the Native Americans and how these characters are kind of tangled up in that. But that romance triangle really bounced off me. Like really, like it just like it's completely falls flat. Even down to like the big climax at the end where Daniel Day-Lewis has to like speak to one of the tribal leaders and is like basically pleading for the lives of his people. And it's just like he has to be like translated simultaneously by the other love romance interest, and it's just like
I feel like there's a lot of drop balls.
Yeah, it's just like this is not hitting and this is not sticking, both like in the continuity of the scene, but also like me as the audience. Like, man, it was just
also as the fighting choreography isn't hitting very well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's shit going on where I'm just like, come on.
Yep.
It's 1992. We should be. I mean, Michael. I mean, the end to me was so many disappointing moments. There's something that happened. Wasn't at the end, but we're approaching the end. Maybe the beginning of Act 3-ish. Something happened, and I was so baffled by the decision of what I saw on screen that I'm going on AI, and I'm just like, when Daniel Day-Lewis does this in the film, does this is the book also like this? And then I was asking it to explain to me why Michael Mann made decisions.
Yeah.
Because to me, I was baffled by some things.
Well,
and at the same time, when you're dealing with whatever French and Indian War, there's native tribes also at it. This is like a four-way battle going on, and we're kind of we're going from there's different locations being shown and different flavors, and I'm like, why aren't I feeling 80% more, which is because it's what I should be?
Yeah.
So there's elements of it's cool just because it's cool.
Right.
Like the content is cool. Mm-hmm. But boy, Michael Mann, falling flat in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. It's a serious drop ball, and that's exactly what I came across when I first watched it. I mean, that's
you were right, I'll tell you.
I know.
I don't want to hate on it, but even
no, I feel you.
And Daniel is great, but also I don't feel like given enough to do at the same time in a way.
Well, it's like that. It's like that. That scene in the climax of just him, really. It's basically like his Oscar moment, if you will. And in the continuity of the scene, he has to get translated what he's saying. It's just there's so much there of just this is not. This is not it. This is not it. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I think even back then for Daniel Day-Lewis, he was still method acting, which I think is interesting to talk about. Described by our director as fanatical about details, even studying, I read 18th century saber fighting manuals.
Which is great.
Sure, great.
Yep. This is the film where he got kicked off. He wanted to tent and live by the river.
Yeah.
So when the actual cabins and stuff were being built, to be shown in the film, he was getting involved and he wanted to build it himself with the crew member. And the crew, the set builders, kicked him off because he was like, "Dude, you're not that good. You're gonna hurt somebody."
That's so fucking funny. It's so great. But he's pretty reserved acting wise. I would say this is not a role that leans into where Day-Lewis is bombastic and where he has his big moments. I just feel like I don't know. There's a certain degree of obviously him as a romantic interest. There's an aspect there of just I'm sure he is a good romantic partner. He's a good eye candy, but I feel like there's something here that I could have really used a different casting than Daniel Day-Lewis, and I don't think I've ever said that with any Daniel Day-Lewis role.
Okay, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah.
I was saying we needed a new director. I mean, I hate to say it because, again, I just don't think the direction was that good.
Right.
Because there are scenes that could have had these two really doing something.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, him even with his crew and everything like that. And some of the action scenes that were shot fell flat. And boy, I mean, because I like seeing him with the getup. I don't mind him in this role. I really don't.
Okay.
And he's going to do as much as he possibly can with it. That's for sure. It is Daniel Day-Lewis, but I just don't think he was given enough. I mean, that's how I was looking at it.
Yeah.
In frustration.
Right.
Didn't hate the movie. Maybe I should say that too.
But no, it's. I would never watch this again. Okay. This is a first watch and done for sure. Now second watch in. I think actually part of that original draw to watching this was for the soundtrack, believe it or not. Tom, of course, you and I have one particular, heard one particular track countless times in our high school astronomy class. It's a really beautiful soundtrack. I think that's the one bright piece of the production here, is that it's the type of score where the main theme is strung throughout almost every song in it, and it builds really nicely over the runtime. I thought it was still a really good soundtrack, despite kind of some connection to it, some nostalgia for it. But that's about it. I really wish there were some better production notes, but I just thought it was unusually ugly as a movie.
I don't know if it was. Okay.
You don't feel that?
I didn't think it looked great, but as far as they definitely
it's those night scenes. The night scenes just were just what? I'm squinting.
I know, but they're trying to do natural lighting and just flames and stuff like that. I wasn't the lighting I didn't care about. I mean, and they tried to be somewhat real with sets and everything like that. Take it seriously,
especially when we're in the fort and stuff.
I personally think that colonial era is basically the hardest thing to shoot and make a good movie out of. Every time I think I would love to do a movie like this, and I've thought about how if I went to this is just kind of again my niche when it comes to history.
Sure.
This is what history I go to. I think it's just very, very difficult to do, personally. Now, it's a lot of forts and backwoods stuff, which has a cool aspect to it, and you could do that a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. When it comes to like colonial stuff and actually colonial villages and streets, I think it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I think it either just looks bad or it does look good, but it just looks like a site that people and tourists go visit.
Right,
so
right.
they don't lived in.
Yep.
They looked kept and very nicely kept.
Yep.
Two different things.
For sure. Reenactment.
Yeah. I thought the film itself was going to look a little bit better and crisper. I will say that. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to go into too much detail because I think we're getting a point across.
Yeah.
Even some of the backwoods stuff.
Right.
There's just something. This is the way I felt about Noah, too, where it's like, let's just sit Anthony Hopkins in the woods, but it doesn't look used. Like there should be trails. I want these woods to be lived in and used, like actual people do.
Sure.
But a lot of times it's like this looks like good. We have some hills here. Okay, this is good with the rocks here. Do we have stream running over there? Okay, great action. Nothing kind of seems, and maybe it's nitpicky, but nothing seems like it's these guys' territory.
Right. Which is maybe important to the narrative a little bit of like what's happening to the Native Americans in the story.
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, because
that's a tool of part of the war.
Yeah. That was a serious nitpick, but that was on my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. And where I think I landed on that score originally, because for me it was kind of like I went in wanting to like this. Why don't I like this?
I want to love this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
to the point of like you added it. This is the only one you hadn't seen this week.
I purposely kept it because I was like, well, obviously I'm going to love it. Right. Clearly.
Obviously it's going to be a home run.
Yeah. And a bit of a letdown. Bit of a letdown.
Absolutely. I would say next to big historical epics like Dances with Wolves or even a couple years later on with The Patriot, I personally don't connect with these type of films in a major way. I'm definitely on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to that, Tom. Something here. It could be the presentation. It could be how stakes are communicated, either at like the macro war level or the personal romantic level. Or it could even be that I just don't care for this era of history that much, but I don't know what it is, but I'm walking away with just about the same feeling as my first watch of this. We're going to go ahead and give The Last of the Mohicans, 1992. Old score was a 53. It remains a 53.
It remains a 53. How long has it been? When do you think you watched this last? Or first?
I want to say 2017.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe.
I was thinking I don't know. I was thinking almost like 15, 20 years or something like that.
No. Again, I mean, if anything, my love affair with Michael Mann was semi-recent. Like, I always liked Heat, but then it was just like, no. I think it actually started with Tangerine Dream doing soundtracks, and then I saw Tangerine Dream did Sorcerer and a movie called The Keep. And The Keep, Michael Mann directed. And that's what kicked off the Michael Mann
I
kick.
do remember you freaking out about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, and The Keep's crazy. So
okay, so 53%. I'm kind of right there with you. The frustration I have, I do like being in this era a little bit. I like this era, like I said, though. I mean, I do think it's difficult to shoot. Mm-hmm. The frustration of, I think the story is cool. I think where the story goes is great.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we have kind of four competing sides here, all kind of warring with each other, to me is fascinating and could be an electric story, and a love story mixed in there could totally work. Even if another sub-love story, and drop balls and bad direction.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it brings it down to a 53, very unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad we're in alignment on this one.
Yes, well... Okay, so if you were to bottle up that lacklusterness and how much lackluster we felt about it, and then turn that into maybe how much love people have, turn that into love, and if you love that as much, if you love the daily ratings as much as we thought it was lackluster... Last of the Mohicans. Folks, listen, we are completely listener-supported here at the Daily Ratings. Basically what that means is we are entirely supported by our listeners through monetary support. We're not going to deal with advertising and do a bunch of ad breaks for a bunch of products nobody cares about, and we just sell our soul to ad agencies. We don't want to do that. We also don't want to have paywalls or payment tier structures on this site where you have to pay to access content, pay to get our whatever, if we do bonus shows and everything like that. We don't want to force a number on you. We don't want to force a monthly fee on you. We love doing this. We want everyone who can listen and able to listen to listen. But the thing is, if you're finding it valuable, and if you're listening to the podcast often or often enough, if you're checking out the website, wondering if a film is worth a watch, and if you yourself are just into movies more now than what you were before you found us, we look at that as value in your pocket. So could you send us value back in our pocket? It is the value for value model. So Vin and I are doing this because we do love it, but it also does take some upkeep. It takes monthly costs and annual costs just to keep this thing going. So please keep that in mind when you're watching, and keep that in mind too when you're listening to other podcasts and you're on your 6th ad break, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and wasting your time, you're trying to just get your phone out so you can skip past it, and we just don't do that here. It's just all content, and it's just having a good time. So if you are having a good time, if you're finding this valuable, please, if you could, send in a donation and support the Daily Ratings. So when you do support, you become an actual legitimate producer of the Daily Ratings, and that's what we credit you as, because just like in Hollywood, when you financially support a project, you're a producer of the project. That's how we're doing it here. We also want some input or just hear what you have to say. Become a producer and send in a producer note. This can be questions, comments, critiques, add to a conversation, start a conversation. We want to bring you into the fold. You're part of the Daily Ratings family, making it all work. We want to hear what you have to say. Be a producer. So you head on over to thedailyratings.com and go to the donations tab. Everything right there is laid out for you. If you want the quick action donations, like buy Vin a movie ticket, a Space Odyssey donation, and become a Godfather, but also there's the big value for value button there. So it's whatever amount of value and whatever money you want to send in. Are we worth a cup of coffee a month? Is money flowing? You can donate as big as you want. If money's tight, donate as little as you want. That's why we're doing it this way, because week after week, everybody's on their own finances. Who are we to pay the value you're getting? That's not our job. We just want to hang out and entertain as much as possible. So again, it's thedailyratings.com. Head to the donations page. Become a producer. Please support us. And please send in that producer note. You can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email address. And if you want to be anonymous, please just say, hey, keep me anonymous, and we will honor that. So head on over to thedailyratings.com. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, Vin, let's go ahead. At 2000, we're finally in the 21st century.
Yeah.
You have never seen this before.
Yeah,
and
no.
I had not seen this before until I was doing research for a birthday episode last year.
Okay.
So I was in a boat mood. I watched a ton of basically sailboat movies, a ton of them. And Master and Commander was just on my list for literally 20 years.
Wow.
Russell Crowe was definitely on my radar post Gladiator, even though we were young. Came out in 2003, so unfortunately just Lord of the Rings swept my brain along with the Oscars.
Yeah.
Which is why Master and Commander kind of just slowly and very actually quickly got brushed underneath the rug. And this one, when you think of Russell Crowe, sometimes people just forget about this one.
Yeah.
But I knew it was well respected. I knew it had a bunch of Oscars to its name. I knew it was a big production. And I knew it was a pretty big famed boys' watch. So
Really?
it was time to head out on the water. But there's not a single female in the film.
Oh,
Like, you think Lord of the Rings doesn't have female
I guess
characters?
that's the nature of naval combat. You know?
That's it.
It's kind of a sausage fest.
It's the boys hanging out. So between all of those factors, I said, it's time. It's time to sit down and watch it. And you hadn't watched it yourself. Why don't you set up Master Commander, full title, Master and Commander, Far Side of the World.
Yep.
I hate that, but
I do hate it too.
Set it up. We'll take it back and forth.
Well, I thought it was pretty good. I think this was really an interesting watch, mostly for production quality.
Yeah.
There are some really decent ship-to-ship action, but I think anything that could be relatively considered design, this was a really big highlight of the film. I will say, I almost right away, I have written down here, I'm not sure it's a good boys watch because sometimes this is, and not in like a major bad way, but sometimes this is a little bit of snoozer. This is meant to be a little bit more kind of slow burn as far as crew tensions on the ship. A little bit of intentional downtime after, some of the firefights, some of the skirmishes between the ships and whatnot.
You're not wrong.
So that's where like I had it written in when you first gave me the list as like good boys watch, and almost the whole time I was like, boys watch?
Okay.
Like, what?
Okay.
What are you talking about?
I will say this too. I think it was oversold to me from me hearing from other people as well.
I mean, I certainly get your point, but
and I'll say right off the bat, almost like you, I like this movie.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be a little bit better.
Yes.
Which means I was expecting it to be a little bit more electric and actiony as well.
Yes. And to be fair, I didn't know what I wanted. I think there...
You really didn't know, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll go on to say, I don't have a lot of these, whether it be submarine movies, ship movies, new or old eras. I don't have a lot of these rated and reviewed.
That's why I'm here. That's why. That's why.
The Tom birthday picks.
That's why. That's right. That's why I was given a birthday once a year, believe it or not.
To educate me.
Well, by the way, that was the low-key thing.
Yeah.
I was going to make this, I was going to make it Ship Week.
Oh.
So I had all of
I do kind of like that.
I have all the versions of Mutiny on the Bounty watched. Watched a couple of them twice. I personally went back and watched 1957's White Whale.
Moby Dick.
Yeah, Moby Dick. Watched that.
Oh, that makes sense. Not recently, but I remember you telling me you went back and watched that.
Yes, the newest one, Heart of the Sea by Ron Howard, Chris Hemsworth. Had to shut that one off.
No way.
That one got shut off pretty quick. But
Ron Howard. I think Ron Howard might be our new biggest beef director.
Not beef, just like...
Oh, there's beef.
Okay. Okay. But no, I'm a ship guy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if I'm the Western guy, I'll be the ship guy, and you can be space guy and horror guy. You can be spaceship guy.
Oh, there we go.
You could be spaceship guy. That's what you are.
Yeah, if there's ever a divorce, we need to divvy up the genres.
Yes.
There needs to be a custody battle.
No, I'm a big. Just get me on the sales. Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
big time.
Well, yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I was watching this. I was like, I don't know where I would almost benchmark it among other movies I watch. I was thinking about submarine movies like Das Boot, Hunt for Red October, stuff like that, which is almost, especially Hunt for Red October, much more campy even.
I think that's a pretty serious movie. Well, listen, that's on a list somewhere for me too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, submarine stuff. I'm a boat
separate
guy.
Well, that's what I was
I like
ask.
planes, but I'm a boat guy.
Okay, all right. But submarines are different than boat movies.
Right. I guess marine vessels, you could say. Are very much
nautical or nautical.
Real quick, by the way, so one of those Mutiny on the Bounties.
Yeah.
There's 4. One of them has been lost. Was it the earliest one? Yeah. Yes, it was the earliest one. The captain who ends up getting mutinied over was Charles Lawton, the director of The Night of the Hunter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. And yeah, you said he was an actor. The Night of the Hunter is like one of 2.
Correct, exactly. He's very much an actor.
Very interesting.
Yeah, yep.
Well, with this movie having the subtitle Far Side of the World, it kind of makes you wonder, was this designed to kick off a franchise? This became a little bit of a rabbit hole for my research on this one. I think there's certainly enough gas in the tank to pull that off. This is a story based off of a series of novels.
Yes.
Everything was based off of novels this week. This one is a series of novels by Jack O'Brien. This series is 20 books strong, and this movie serves as kind of a composite of the best pieces, the best moments of some of those books.
This is the composite, the best moments of 20 books?
Well, I don't know. I guess arguably best, but specifically with our main guy, our main captain. I think the blood is in the water on franchise potential for that. They see 20 big books. They maybe even see what work Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings is doing at the time as far as big franchises to come from book series. And I think that's where we get our subtitle of Far Side of the World. I feel like this was definitely intended to be more of a kickoff.
How much of an issue was, and in fact, I forgot to say it at the beginning, I thought about this week. How much of an issue was Pirates of the Caribbean ruining this?
Bingo. That's exactly where I kind of hit a roadblock in my research, because it was flashback to 2003, and Pirates of the Caribbean kind of eats this lunch.
Was that 2003?
Yeah, same year.
Holy shit.
Same year.
2003, huge year.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my God, 2 competing sailboat movies?
Pirates come out in July, this comes out in November, so it has the Oscar slot.
It has the Oscar slot, but no one cares because...
Exactly, they already got Jack Sparrow.
And Return of the King comes out December 17th. That's the talk of the town.
True.
After Pirates of the Caribbean buzz, that's the talk of the town.
Yeah, exactly. But I that was really just a big question of just this between in the head-to-head between Pirates of the Caribbean. I think this is the more impressive movie.
This is the adult movie.
Yeah.
By the way, shockingly only rated PG-13.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Which is shocking.
Absolutely, especially with some of the surgeon stuff.
Yeah.
But even like ship-to-ship combat and whatnot,
Yeah.
still kind of blockbustery in ways. You know,
Definitely blockbustery.
It's trying to be glossy, but it just really made me wonder of just like what happened, who ate this movie's lunch, you know what I mean? Because this there was some positioning to make this into a franchise, and we just never got it.
Was there talk on that then, or this is just a huge hunch for you because of the sheer
Huge
amount of
hunch.
material? Okay.
Huge hunch.
Well, I would have loved to see more. One, I mean, I like that this took the gritty route, and Pirates obviously went a little bit more of the kid-friendly route.
Oh, right.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah.
How funny is that we always get these dueling things come out in the same year?
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny how the world works with that. But boy, you're right. Pirates ate this, and then Lord of the Rings ate it.
Yeah, it's almost like alternate reality of just like we imagine just like 27 Master and Commander movies because they would fill the 20 and then they were like, all right, well, we got to do our own things, you know. Get Gore Verbinski on this.
That's
one
crazy.
Instead of Peter. You know?
Yeah. Man, I forgot about 03 though. What came out that year? It's
big
such
blockbuster
a
year
because there's something here.
Yeah,
there really is.
So really interesting. But hypotheticals aside, Master and Commander is a Napoleonic era naval epic. Russell Crowe plays Jack Aubrey, the fictional but renowned naval commander, along with Paul Bettany playing his right-hand man and ship surgeon Stephen Martyrin. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Paul Bettany.
It's a long episode. I think I started this episode saying, sorry if I'm a little light on things to say about these movies, which is probably the deepest irony about the entire podcast running. Also, the books, from what I understand, are always about these two guys.
Really? Captain Jack Aubrey. So these are these really any trueness to going on?
No. I thought there was going to be like slivers of truth, but they're all fictional and more so kind of like history buff, like the details around the ships, the details around the strategy at sea is where the meat is.
Yeah, which is what I love. I mean, the details where it's at.
Absolutely. The story is set on the ocean battlefront of 1805. The British HMS Surprise given the orders to intercept the French privateer Acheron by way of sinking, burning, or taking her as a prize. From their very first skirmish, you can see that the British ship is outclassed. However, our captain has known this ship since he was a little boy and has faith in the crew above all else. Only the loyalty to Lucky Jack will get them through countless hardships, and though they may be on the far side of the world, the ship is England to them. Everything that, like I said, everything that could be classified as design is really excellent here.
Yeah.
The ship itself, the design of the crew, extras, whether that dips into kind of casting and whatnot, but like costumes and everything like that.
The ocean.
Yes.
Because sometimes sometimes with boats in film, it just looks like you're in a swimming pool.
Yeah, true.
They did a good job.
Absolutely. And definitely that destruction at sea, really excellent. If anything, like, if you enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean, I think this is a surprisingly blockbuster match. Like, yes, it has more Oscar ambitions, but
it takes away the fantasy.
Yeah, this is like this still wants to satisfy in those big moments. You know, it's
a big movie.
You want to see the splintering wood, you know, as the cannonballs hit. You know,
yeah.
We get thrown into the ship's interior, and it's just really fleshed out wonderfully. This is also kind of where I was going to say, like, I don't have a lot of these naval epics rated for comparison on the site, but my appreciation for these always comes from the battle plans, the strategy side.
Okay, interesting.
I'll dip that into kind of like, you know, submarine type of films. You know, I like that. Naval combat is more measured. It's about maneuvering. It's about positioning. You know what I mean? It's battleship, basically.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a chess, too. Because you need to predict the other guy's moves and attacking and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
pitching,
that's something that this movie does very well. The actual like ship-to-ship cannonball carnage is pretty intense, but I really enjoyed just like how this was able to have like great strategy moments in it, and Russell Crowe just being such an excellent, you know, like this is in the golden era,
absolutely,
of like he's not the butt of the joke, he's not Chub Crow, you know what I mean? He's like
he's cool as shit.
He's cool and he's competent and he's a man's man and he's smart, you know, he's everything.
So what exactly? But that right there, the battle planning and all that, the action. Were you feeling 20% low? because I wanted more. I did want some more action. I wanted more action.
Yeah, I would have taken more. I would have taken it specifically over maybe some of the crew drama and, again...
the Paul Bettany stuff. You want crew drama. So, funny, where you're just like, I like these boats things because I like the strategy, I like the wargaming of it. Not that I don't, but... man, do I love sailor life.
Yeah,
I love getting the feel of the boat. I want to feel at times like I can be one of the officers. I want to feel like I am the worst of the worst and just the second-hand cook or something after the first one dies from cannonball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to feel every aspect of the ship. I want to know, like I know I want to feel the ship layout. Boat life, love it. Like
that's what I mean.
I'm in.
Like the design of it felt very fleshed out.
Yes.
Because you do get to kind of understand without it like talking down to you of just like, why are there like young cadets in the mix with, you know, the crew?
Very
like what's
young,
exactly
too.
going on there? You know what I mean? There's a lot that it doesn't hold your hand and you're just like thrown into the authentic design.
You're picking
of
up on
this.
sea life, basically, yeah.
So or even of that era of like Napoleonic sea life.
Oh,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
no,
like,
absolutely.
Like a very strict, you know, naval tradition to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And what I like, too, well, okay, so for this one where I like to feel that boat life, and all individual characters and get to know the crew, it is heavy with Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany.
Yes.
You know, with the surgeon and the captain, big time. I don't hate it, but again, I felt a little bit low on the rest of the boat, and then I felt a little bit low on the action itself when that great wartime stuff kind of came in.
Yeah. If anything, just because it's done so well, you wanted more to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. I think where this movie dragged for me a little bit was just like in the drama between the crew. Just because, I don't know, there is something just so expected of just like, it's a ship story. Is it going to be a mutiny? You know what I mean?
Well, it's too cliche for you.
Well, it's just kind of like, there's nothing left to do than mutiny on the ship, you know what I mean? And that's actually, you know, to be fair, that's not exactly where this goes, but I enjoyed the driving action between, you know, a plot between ship battles. The story eventually breaks open from that to have some tensions about rising on the ship due to pushing the crew too far. It's here where I think the movie becomes a little bit of a snoozer at times, you know?
It gets too slow. I completely agree.
Yeah. And it's just simply because I wanted those tense strategy scenes. The whole Galapagos Islands section of the story, for instance, a nice breather.
Yeah.
I don't think inappropriate to have that before a big climax, you know? But switch, you know, and even like switching up the setting, kind of interesting. It's like 1805. This is before Darwin, so Paul Bettany's character would be like is truly incentivized to like capture some things on the Galapagos Islands.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
You know, so kind of interesting there. But I was just watching the clock and all of these scenes of just like. Where's the French ship?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was watching the boat saying, when are we taking off again here? I mean, let's set sail here, fellas.
Exactly.
I didn't need that aspect of it.
Yep.
And so I like Paul Bettany's character. I like the fact of that the captain needs a confidant type of deal.
Yep.
I don't know if I need to go on a side quest, though, with Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Keep me on the ship. Keep me on the water.
Exactly. There's actually one plot point around it that even slows this section even further without spoilers. And when it happened, it was just kind of like I threw up my hands. I was just like, oh, come on. Like, guess what? We are buckling in. This is not going to be a breezy segment. Like, we are here, you know? I think my dream version of this, like from a screenwriting perspective, though, is all around that predator versus prey dynamic. And this does have that as a theme, especially with the French privateer just like being a outclassed ship. You know what I mean? This is like they will lose in an outright
such
fight.
a good storyline.
Exactly.
They should have stuck on it.
Yeah.
For more.
I mean, for me, it boils down to Star Trek. You know what I mean? Being ship battles. You know what I mean?
I like spaceships. You're a spaceship guy.
Yeah.
And I'm the ocean ship guy, I guess.
But, you know, I want, you know, my ideal version of this type of story is all around that predator-prey dynamic, you know.
I think most people, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Give us I think we needed another one in there.
Yeah.
Another encounter.
Exactly.
Especially if we're making it up.
Yeah, I know. We'd also chop like a good 25 minutes off of this if you...
It's 2 hours, it's 2 hours and 18.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's fat to trim, because again, if there was any ambitions to build both Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany's characters for, you know, future franchise stuff, you know, they needed time, but...
There's something with me where if you're a serious boat movie, you need to be over 2.
Yeah.
Because you need to start to feel the life at sea.
Yeah.
And when you were bored and thinking, I'm losing it, There you go.
That's life at sea.
That's when the movie gets you. That's when the movie actually has you. Right?
Right, exactly. That's the immersion.
But these blockbuster boat movies, because there really are only probably a dozen of them, and probably 8 good ones. These are all epics in their own right because they're supposed to be epic.
Sure.
Just the story of survival and on the boat and at the sea and all that can go wrong with the mentalness that goes down with you and everything like that.
Absolutely.
These are all epics in their own right for sure. So they need to have length. They need to have those drawn out moments. But it could have went a different direction. I couldn't help but feel that both times I watched. I've watched this 3 times now, and you feel it every time.
Why is that 3 that lucky number? Wow.
Well, it's just by the time. I don't know. It just happens.
Unreal. Also puts me to shame. I'm having 2 movie weeks over here. You know,
I'm not bogged down by new films. If I don't want to see the new film,
right.
I'll just I'll just turn
at home
on the Comancheros again.
Yeah. Oh man, I would say still pretty dang good as a movie.
Yeah, legit.
I don't mean to almost backhand compliment it by calling it blockbustery or calling it satisfying, but those are good qualities to this. I mean, this was a movie that was like, if you're into this, you're probably gonna love this because it really does it well. And I could see how this project could create a diehard fan base, whether it be fans of the book series. I would say there's a lot here in kind of that history buff enjoyment of wanting to see the era done well.
Oh, yeah.
And even just an appreciation of the detail infused into the story. I think this is still worth your time to check out. We're going to go ahead and give Master and Commander 2003 a 69.
Okay, it's 69%. I'm probably a little bit hotter on it than you, but I think it's kind of a little bit more up my alley.
Yeah.
And I have to say, going on this long train of boat movies, sailing movies, that kind of stuff, that era, this belongs up there with them. Again, if there's that's half a dozen, 8-ish films that are in this genre when you're in a mood, if you ever get in a mood like that, this should be added to your list. I want to say some winners and losers of the movie.
Okay.
So a small winner of the film, I like James D'Arcy as the first lieutenant.
Oh, okay.
A smaller role, not a big role, but
Yeah.
I like him in that role.
Yeah.
And not only that, in the last iteration of the Mutiny on the Bounty that we get from the 80s, it's kind of a character in that similar thing. Not at all a main character, but a bit of a lieutenant and things like that, is a young Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, really?
And those two just look good playing those roles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So him, loser, is unfortunately the movie. Because it got sandwiched in between Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings, and just got swept at the Oscars and got forgotten about.
That was a curveball.
Okay.
Loser, actually the whole thing.
But it's good. Winners, again, Billy Boyd, unbelievable year. He's in Master and Commander, and he's in the Lord of the Rings.
You set him up way too big, though. I'm watching this movie.
I told you he's a small character.
I know, but you were just like, he's having a good year.
It's a great year for him.
I guess, yeah.
For Billy Boyd.
That is true. Yes, he's having an incredible year.
What's the runner-up year for Billy Boyd? Tell us. But the ultimate winner of this film is Paul Bettany.
Yes.
Because in 2003, he's in this, and in 2003, he marries Jennifer Connelly. So
wow.
This guy at 20,
that's a big winner right
winning
there.
At life.
Wow.
And still together, too. So
that's great.
Very happy for them.
That's great.
Still taken. What am I going to do? But no, seriously, big movie, big blockbuster, big action when there is action, and you just wish there was a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, is 69%. If you're in the mood for a boat movie, one of those classic, older sail movies, definitely hit this up. And if you're a kid, when we were kids watching Pirates of the Caribbean, it's a grown-up version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly.
In a way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's that. I don't want to keep you here any much more longer.
I'm fearful to look at the clock.
What? We're actually doing okay here.
All right.
What exactly? Anything you want to touch on? Highlight this another birthday year down? I think it was a pretty good year.
Absolutely.
Not as good as I think last year still holds the torch.
Batting average lower, I would say maybe higher highs, especially around Night of the Hunter. I mean,
we really started the episode on a high. You were jazzed to talk about.
I know. Well, I came in and you were singing the song too. I was just like, oh my God. Oh man.
It was a great one. Vin, thank you so much for fitting these in. You felt like shit for basically the entire week, and you still managed to write your reviews. Come here, sit down with me. Really appreciate it. Folks, we hope you appreciate it as well. Before we wrap up, we'll just run it down one more time. We have The Night of the Hunter with an 84%. Did I give this shoes? No. The Comancheros with the 57%. And 2 shoes, 1 lace. Army of Shadows with the 78%. 2 shoes, 1 lace. The Last of the Mohicans with the 53%. And Master and Commander, The Far Side of the Moon. Sorry, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World.
It's all those spaceships.
I wrote down Moon. Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. I got a 69%. Another year in the books, in the can. We will be back for regular programming with some new films coming out next week. Be sure to tune in. I'll be here for the news show on Tuesday. We'll have Vincent Daly back here next Thursday on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer-supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.